Hi everyone, I'm Anna Berry and I'm joined with our Mayor, Monroe Nichols, and this is Mondays with the Mayor. So happy to see you again. All right, so something that you and your team are putting on, Community Conversation Series.
Yeah.
You've just kicked it off. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so far, we've done one on mental health and public safety. I think pretty soon tonight, I guess, we'll have one that is really focused on essential services. So thinking about how do we best deliver excellent services to every citizen across the city. I mean, our city is a city of over 400,000. We're pretty spread out. Providing services and how we do that is critical. And we want to engage citizens on all those conversations to understand in part the complexities of what it's like to meet some of the challenges we have, but also to be able to deliver on the things we have to deliver on every day. But also to have a conversation on, like, what should that look like.
So what does that mean? Can anyone join
Anybody
the conversation?
can join.
Physically
Anybody can
come?
join. Yep, everybody can join. We'll have a panel of experts that'll be there. The goal is so that folks in the city can hear from the best expertise we can find.
Monroe, talk a little bit about some of these programs, specifically safety. Public safety is a big concern. So you're mentioning some of those programs.
Yeah, so this summer we had some very significant public safety challenges downtown. We launched Operation Ceasefire. We got almost 200 illegal guns off the streets. We made somewhere in the neighborhood of about 90 felony arrests, so folks who were out in our community who shouldn't have been out in our community. But I think what was really interesting, we had like 4,900 citizen interactions and only one complaint due to a verbal issue between an officer and a citizen. So we were able to run a very aggressive public safety focused program with a population of folks that can be tough, and it went very, very smooth, and Tulsans were the safer because of it. What our crime stats tell us, so what the data says, is that we're a safer city than we even were a year ago. But we still have challenges, and so one of the priorities of this administration is, one, to get the police department up to its authorized force, but also make all the other investments that are necessary. How are we investing in our parks and green spaces? How are we making sure that parts of the community that maybe has kind of been locked out of the economic development conversation is brought back in? We were talking right before we went on about 61st and Peoria, and this year we'll invest $8 million into Johnson Park, right there in the community, just south of 61st and Peoria. Is a big economic development project. I think is like one of those catalytic economic development projects that's going to change the face of that part of town. So it's a balancing of both the investments in public safety, but also the expansion of opportunity. And that's how we're focused, not just at 61st and Peoria, but all across the city.
Wonderful. It reminds me a little bit of the West Side Y. I mean, that's where I like to go sometimes, and how that development is helping the neighborhood as well.
Absolutely.
Bringing everyone in together.
Absolutely.
Rising tide lifts all boats. So is that the intention with the 6-1?
Absolutely. And I think the big thing is, I think it's interesting to talk about it from a neighborhood perspective. We think about our work from neighborhoods. We launched earlier this year something called the Neighborhood Conditions Index. And so every neighborhood across the city, we have the data on where there are challenges, where there are good opportunities, and it really helps us best understand how do we at a neighborhood level begin to build that rising tide.
Right.
Because we recognize our neighborhoods are what make us really, really special. And so you can actually go look at the Neighborhood Conditions Index. It's pretty phenomenal data. Every neighborhood is ranked from a priority 1 to a priority 3. And our goal is that we, get every neighborhood off the priority 1 list. We just launched a new neighborhood academy, so neighborhood leaders learning how to interact with the city, how to get things done at City Hall. I think a previous class, had like 8 or 12 graduates, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey.
I went to the kickoff at OU Tulsa a couple weeks ago. There was, I think, 140 applicants or something like that this year.
Wonderful way to get the community involved.